breaking news.
That breaking news from Maryland Heights tonight, where police shot and killed a man after they say the man drew his gun toward them. I'm Emily Pritchard. Officer Michael Langsdorf was killed in the line of duty a week ago in Wellston. We have breaking news on a story News 4 has been following for 2 years now. A judge has sentenced Giossi Campbell to 5 years in prison in the death of his girlfriend's son.
Courtney, of course, this news coming in within the past 5-10 minutes or so. I can tell you right now we are inside the Drake Hotel. This is where Bruce Rauner's supporters are gathering. We have not seen or heard from Governor Rauner yet, with this latest projection that J.B. Pritzker will take this race. Take a look at this very soggy St. Louis Post-Dispatch I got my hands on. It says glorious, and I think that is what a lot of fans are feeling tonight after this win, and now they know that they will be going to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 49 years. Take a listen to how those fans are feeling tonight. Awesome! Steve, the focus here is to stop people from breaking into cars. People that check those door handles are looking for that crime of opportunity. We're right next to this Pillsbury Road sign, and you can see the water is up to the bottom of that speed limit marker. I'm here now with Chief Meteorologist Steve Templeton. And Steve, you're tracking where this storm is heading.
At least it's moving. You know, it was stalled over the Bahamas.
After today's big announcement, we will now wait until 2022 when we will first see these hoisted in a Major League Soccer stadium right here in St. Louis.
10 marathons in 10 days. Who's the think he is? Forrest Gump?
Wow.
He hopes to inspire people to push themselves toward a goal physically and mentally.
So how long did it take Wardian to run that beltway? 17 hours, 54 minutes, and 59 seconds. It makes me wonder what I've done with 17 hours worth of my own time.
Makes me tired.
Yes,
Need a massage.
Too. The CBS Evening News is up next.
We'll see you again in a half hour for News 4 at 6.
What are you learning from police? Claire, well, we do know police are looking for a suspect out here. I'll step out of the way and show you what's happening right now. I've counted about 15 county police cars that are out here on the scene. It is important to note officers are kind of walking around. There's no major rush at this incident at this Catholic supply store. You can see some people gathered around outside of those windows of the Catholic supply store. But we have just heard from St. Louis County Police that they are looking for a suspect. They've given us a description. He is described as a white male, 5'7", heavy build, wearing a black jacket, blue jeans, and a large belt. The suspect was also wearing a black or gray hat. They're asking if you have seen a person that matches this description to please call 911. Again, we are located off of Manchester right now, and there was a report of a shooting at that Catholic supply store back behind me. I can tell you this entire parking lot is roped off. There are a number of officers here on the scene. You can see there are a number of other businesses here as well. We actually parked here in the Bandanas parking lot. There's an Ashley Home store, a Second City consignment store, and of course the Hot Shots bar. So a lot of places that people could be visiting here this afternoon. We do know that one person was taken to the hospital. We do not have an update on their condition right now. I will be checking with some officers here, also with some witnesses here in the area, and hopefully we can learn something more and bring it back to you. Reporting live in St. Louis County tonight, Emily Pritchard, News 4. This 90-year-old loves nothing more
I go on a road ride every day.
than a drive along a country Missouri road.
Some of my friends, some of the girls.
Maybe that's because this veteran knows what it's like to not have the freedom of two hands on the wheel.
I just enjoy life over there.
And Walter
And
Dixon
then when I
knows
came
a
back
thing or
from over there,
two
when I
about
died this year,
dying.
That's 5/18/51. That's when I died.
Dixon's final resting place is marked at a cemetery in Korea. He's got copies of his obituary.
It's just a day that I prefer to celebrate if I'm around.
This Army veteran from Waynesville, Missouri is very much alive to tell his story. It all began when he married a young woman named Agnes in 1950. But the newlyweds only had a short time together. Just months later, he shipped off to war. Korea, May of 1951. Dixon won some money in a poker game and needed a money order signed so he could send it home to his wife. So he marched up to a group of fellow soldiers.
A bomb hit right in where they were. Well, I took my jacket off and wrapped around this guy's legs because they were really bunged up.
But this is the message his family got back in Missouri, signed by President Harry Truman.
So I was reported killed in action, and but I wasn't dead yet. I was captured, but they thought that was me in that hole because my jacket was there, and these letters from my wife was in the jacket.
Killed in action splashed across headlines in his southeast Missouri hometown. But an ocean away, Dixon was fighting to survive.
We got hungry, and we got kind of starved in a lot of cases.
He spent nearly 28 months as a prisoner of war.
We had several things that was not real good, but you have to handle them.
In 1953, Dixon was released by his captors. He returned to the U.S., but his family, waiting to greet him, didn't look the same.
She had remarried and had a kid.
Thinking he'd been killed in war, his wife Agnes moved on. Captions across the country read, "GI husband alive, and she's remarried."
I said, heck. I don't think that was the word I used, but I better not say that right now.
After all his sacrifices, his heart took a risk with a familiar byline.
She wrote my obituary.
Dee Fenton worked at the local paper and typed these sentences when Dixon was declared dead in 1951.
Somebody had to write it, and she was the one that knew him.
Dixon was Dee's next-door neighbor growing up. They rekindled their relationship after she drafted that obituary and he returned.
I went home to visit one time, and I got a date with her, and we kind of got together.
They married in 1955.
She always joked about writing his obituary again.
Russell Dixon is one of their 3 children.
Every 5 years they renewed their vows.
Those vows stayed true through 61 years of marriage until Dee passed away in 2016.
She's a pretty good lady. Of course, she was awful lucky to have me.
Walter Dixon still lives here in Waynesville, Missouri. He has been awarded 7 Purple Hearts and 2 Bronze Stars.
This October, Dixon celebrated his very real 9 decades of living.
Yeah, I celebrate every day, so why not?
If anyone has direction on how to make the most out of the time you have, it just might be someone who's returned from the grave.
Enjoy every day. And if you don't enjoy every day, you've done something wrong.
Emily Pritchard, News 4.
News 4's Emily Pritchard is tracking what's next for that suspect. She's live in Waterloo as the community honors the trooper.
Tonight, people are here paying their respects to Trooper Nick Hopkins. And today, what felt like nearly the entire community lined the sidewalk as his body was escorted through town to a local funeral home. Tonight, you can see this memorial behind me grows as people are dropping off flowers and notes. And also, today, the man accused of his murder was in court, and now a grand jury will decide his fate.
And it just breaks her heart, just absolutely breaks her heart to leave 3 little kids like that. It's just saddening. So we're out here to support him and his family.
The town of Waterloo helped raise him. Now the community is mourning Illinois State Trooper Nick Hopkins' service and ultimate sacrifice.
To show my respect for the family and the kids and the community, and especially the officers that gives their lives.
As the community mourns the loss of Trooper Hopkins, who leaves behind a wife and 3 young children, the man accused of his murder was arraigned in court. News 4 obtained these court documents that charge Chris Grant with first-degree murder, setting bond at $5 million. This is St. Clair County court records of Grant's past. You can see charges dating back from 1992. 15 of the total 33 cases were dismissed. His convictions range from operating an uninsured car, unlawful possession of a controlled substance, to obstructing justice. No defense attorney is listed for Grant. Back in Waterloo, the only thought is honoring their fallen hero and the difference he made in his community that won't be forgotten.
I just think we should. Everybody should. These guys go to work every day. Their loved ones don't know if they're coming home.
And as people work to mourn the officer in their own way, his funeral announcements have been made. We know that all of the services for Trooper Hopkins will be held at Waterloo High School. The visitation will happen Saturday from 3 to 9 p.m. and the funeral will follow on Sunday, September 1st at 10 a.m. Reporting live in Waterloo tonight, Emily Pritchard, News 4.
First, we want to go to our Emily Pritchard, who is running down the announcement and what happens next. Emily, right now is when the real work really begins.
That's right, and a lot of work is going to have to be happening pretty soon. A roughly 25,000-seat stadium needs to be built, and the ownership group says that will happen right here in a part of the downtown west neighborhood of St. Louis. And if you look just over my shoulder, that's Union Station, so it will be pretty close by. Of course, in Union Station is where the new aquarium is going and the Ferris wheel. A lot of excitement is now coming to seeing soccer played right here in St. Louis.
St. Louis, with its incredibly rich soccer history, not only deserves an MLS team, but has earned one.
St. Louis soccer fans downright giddy over the announcement.
With the Blues doing so well and the Cardinals historically being amazing, it only makes sense for us to replace the Rams with something that people are really excited about.
These two say a lot of people don't realize soccer is deep in the roots of the city.
We actually met playing indoor soccer.
MLS for the Lou ownership member Carolyn Kendall Betts says the stars aligned for this push.
Things just started falling into place faster than we expected, so we had to take advantage of those opportunities. And here we are 10 months later saying we got a team.
Next comes the building of a team and a place to play. Even Blues Hall of Famers are excited about what is to come.
A lot of jobs, a lot of inspiration, and obviously getting the great athletes and this ownership group together, they'll do great things.
After today's big announcement, we will now wait until 2022 when we will first see these hoisted in a Major League Soccer stadium right here in St. Louis. The roughly 25,000-seat open-air stadium will for sure sit in downtown West. It's mainly privately funded through the ownership group. They're not asking for any taxes. You'll just pay a tax if you buy tickets or things at the stadium. This new reality for St. Louis now settles on an already strong soccer foundation.
I was kind of hoping for a name, to be honest, but...
Do you have a preference?
No. I try not to throw my hat into those things, but I don't want it to be St. Louis FC.
A lot of us are waiting for that name, and we will get there soon. Now, we still do not know the exact location of the stadium, but the ownership group says that they will release some more details once they finalize those in the coming weeks. They do say they hope to have this stadium built by March of 2022. Reporting live in downtown West, Emily Pritchard, News 4.